Welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and I'm delighted to tell you that Zombie Hunter, who returns today, has now got his commercial pilot's license. I think he was training for it last time we met him, and he's done it anyway. And he's created a puzzle that has nothing to do with that. In fact, this puzzle is called Two Truths and a Quibble. And I very occasionally share some nugget of linguistics with you. And I'm going to do that in a moment after I've mentioned that on Patreon we have our monthly reward, which is the No Trump game based on playing cards. Do check it out. Some quite tough puzzles there, and a variety of rule sets. And there's also gridogram and connections on Patreon, together with some crossword videos too. And if you like variety of rule sets, do try our apps, of course, which generally tend to feature on one type of rule or fog. But the Worms have varieties of rule sets within them, and are super escapades if you like that. So check the links under the video. There's also a link to our merch featuring Marty Sears' wonderful Rat Run designed merch. Do subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it already. 700,000 people have, and it helps us keep going. So we'd be grateful. Even for you to do that would be nice. Now, what I was going to tell you about the word truths. When I was studying linguistics, we were given a worksheet at one point. The point of which was to teach us that English speakers subconsciously know how to form plurals even from words that they've never come across before. Once you know a word is a noun, you know how to form its plural. And there were examples like heart becoming hearts. And there, if you listen to the sound that's made by the pluralization, it's a voiceless consonant, the S sound, which you might represent by an S if you were writing. Whereas if you use the word, which ends in a voiced sound, d, then you tend to add z on, like what you might represent with a Z, words. And then there are some very interesting cases where a sound that ends in a sibilant, like hiss, becomes hisses with is added on, and the same is true for catch, becomes catches with is, and you've got a vowel and a consonant sound being added there. And then I was very interested that one of the examples, and I realized later it had been very carefully chosen, was the word myth, which I think we would agree the plural is myths with the s sound. And I realized later that the creator of the worksheet had to be very careful not to use a more common word ending in th, like path or bath or truth, because they're all exceptions that we have come to learn. The plural is baths, paths, truths, with suddenly the th has become a the sound, a voiced sound, and you're getting a z sound added rather than an s sound. And truths is in this category for me. So people might pronounce it differently. Maybe some people would say truth, but I wouldn't. Anyway, there you go. A very interesting point that all of these voiceless consonants have st as their plural sound, except if they're in this category of they have this exception made for them by being very common in English, like path and bath and truth. And indeed, about the first 10 words I could think of ending in th or ending in a th sound did modify to a voiced sound. I found it interesting. You may have no interest in that. Anyway, let's do the rules of this puzzle. Two Truths and a Quibble by Zombie Hunter. So, normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 will go in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. 2 out of 3 digits in a circle are true and must appear in one of the 4 surrounding squares, and the third quibbling digit must not. The third quibbling digit will match its position in its box. Example: if the 8 in a 2, 8, 9 circle is quibbling, it will be in position 8 in the box, as read from left to right, top to bottom. So that would be position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 would be here. So if this box happens to say 2, 8, 9, and the 8 was the liar or quibbling digit, it would end up here. And that's it. That's all the rules are. It's telling us that for every circle, 2 of the digits are telling the truth, and the third is lying and goes in its box position instead. I mean, that's an intriguing rule set. We've had liar rule sets before, but never that. Do give it a try on the first link under the video. I'm going to start now. Let's get cracking. So my first thought is that unless there's a lot of overlap, well, these corner boxes, most of them, there are 6 different digits given in the 2 circles. I don't think this is very helpful. Actually, even in this box where there's a 9 overlap, you don't necessarily know whether, I mean, 9 could be there and it could be a genuine digit in both circles, is my point. Or it could be there and be the quibbling digit in both circles. It's not as if a 3-part quadruple circle gives a lot of information anyway. Okay, I think we're going to have to somehow focus on the middle box. Now, hang on, there's one thing I haven't thought about, and that is this group, for instance, includes position 8 within it. If 8 was the quibbling digit, yeah, maybe it's true to say 8 cannot be the quibbling digit there, because how are the rules phrased? The third quibbling digit must not go. It's really interesting. So if there was an 8 here, it wouldn't be a liar because it would be obeying the truth within the box. It would be obeying the rule that 2 truth-telling digits are put in those 4 cells. So if there was an 8 there, it would be true in the box. And therefore, the 8 in that circle cannot be the quibbler. No. Yeah, that is true. So actually, if we can find a circle that, for which 2 of the digits cover the box positions, I don't think there are any, and I think that's probably deliberate. This one has position 5. 3, 6, maybe there aren't. I fear I'm going to have to come into the central box and look at this conflagration of digits in here. I really wanted to say conflation there, but maybe conflagration is fair enough because it's on fire with digits. I didn't spot any circles where 2 of the digits were in the vicinity. So let's have a look in here. What's going on in the central box? 3 and 6 are not mentioned in the circles. There's quite a lot of overlap between some of the digits. Right, 2 and 5 are both mentioned in this circle, and that's those positions. So I think that means that 9 must be the quibbling digit there. Because if 2 was trying to be the quibbling digit, it would end up in position 2, and then it wouldn't be quibbling. So I think for that circle, 9 is the quibbling digit and goes there. And now that's a genuine digit in this one. And therefore, either 1 is a quibbler and goes there, or 7 is a quibbler and goes there. And I mean, that feels like it's going to tell me that 7 is a genuine digit here. Oh, I don't know. I find it quite confusing, if I'm honest. Right. Let's stick with my first theory, which I think is fine. 2 and 4 are both mentioned in this circle, and they're those positions. So they can't be quibblers. 8 must be a quibbler, and that digit is an 8. So 2 and 4 are genuine and do appear in those cells. Now, we don't know that they appear in positions 2 and 4, but we do know they appear in that group. Here, 2 and 5 also, so 2 now appears in one of those two cells because it's a genuine digit for both circles. 5 appears in one of the 4 cells. And down here, 4 and 7 are both in the circle, so they have to be genuine. In the vicinity, I mean, in this group of cells. That's position 4 and that's position 7. So they can't be the quibblers, or they would be thrown into a truth issue. So 1 is the liar, the quibbler, and goes here. And 4 ends up in one of these two cells and 7 in one of these 3. Now we know that 1 is the quibbling digit in 179 because it appears there. So now we know 7 is in one of these cells. Oh, but I had 7 as in one of these 3. So 7 has to be in the overlap, which is the absolute central cell. And that's going to tell me where 4 is in the box. And that's going to tell me where 2 is in the box. And I have made a start on this. Now, the trouble is, after that, I'm going to have to slightly develop out of this central box into some of these, well, probably into boxes 2, 4, 6, and 8, where these digits are looking. Oh, that digit can't be a 5 by the rules. Now, here, what did we have? We have 2 and 5 are telling the truth, 9's the quibbler. Here, 4 and 7 are telling the truth, 1's the quibbler. 2 and 4 are telling the truth, 8's the quibbler. 7 and 9 are telling the truth, 1's the quibbler. So we finished with the central box, disappointingly. Now, how do I use this? 6 must be genuine because that's position 6. So 6 appears in one of these 4 cells. That's how this rule weirdly does its thing. That can't be the quibbler because 9 can't go there. So the quibbler is 7, and that digit has to be in position 7. 9 now has to be in a genuine quadruply position, and that one rules out those two. So we do get a 7 there. Right, let's come down here. 8 clearly is not the quibbler because this is position 8 and it sees an 8, and there's millions of reasons. So there is a genuine 8 around here. There's also either a 3 or a 6. And the other one of 3 or 6 is a quibbler and appears in one of those cells. And that's going to form a triple. I'm going to need to get a glass of water. Sorry, I'll be back with you in just a moment. Right, sorry about that. What I was noticing is this virtual triple of 3 or 6, which is the quibbler from there being in one of these cells, and the other two digits from 3, 5, 6 being here. So 3, 5, 6 must appear there in this column, and those digits can't contain a 6. And now this pair must be a 6, 9 pair. And I guess that means 9, well, I could have done this before. 9 appears in one of those 3 cells. Does it do nothing else? It's very hard to mark this virtual 3, 5, 6 pair because I don't know whether that's a 3 or that's a 6. I just know that one of those things is a truth. That digit is 1, 3, or 4. That's not very helpful. Right, let's look at this 1, 4, 7. Although I suspect this isn't going to... Oh, no, this is helpful. Oh, look at that. One of these is a quibbler. It's either a 1 there, impossible, or a 4 there, impossible. So it must be a 7 here. So 7 is the quibbler. 1 is but is genuinely a quadruple digit, and 4 is as well. So that's going to give us that 4 and 1 are sort of X-winged into these cells. Now 4 can't be there as a quibbler, so it must be in one of these two as a genuine digit around here. 1's in one of those cells. Oops. Now what about this one? 3, 4, 6 here. Position 4, oh, well, we already know about that. Either there's a quibbler in position 3 or in position 6. And that's going to be whichever one of these is not a 3 or a 6. No, that's not right this time, because 6... Oh no, it's sort of right. 6 and 3 they're not quibblers in this box. They don't even appear in circles, so they don't have to be 3 in that cell or 6 in that cell for such a reason. However, one of these digits is a 5, we know that, and therefore there will be a 3-6 pair either between those two digits or between those two digits, and it will mean that either there's a 6 there, the quibbler in this box, and going with a 3? No, I don't know. I was going to say it's going to rule out the possibility of 3 being here and 6 being here, but now I'm not so sure. That's a slightly complex operation. I don't know. I'm going to pause and cough. Sorry. I don't know what to be thinking about at the moment, but let me have a cough first. Right, back with you. I don't quite understand what I'm doing with 3 and 6 here and whether it affects these, but it's probably not vital. Right, let's move on to the fact that this digit can't be 7. So 7 is not a quibbler around this circle, and it's genuine therefore, and in one of these two cells. It's also not a quibbler in this box, so it's genuine around this circle, and now it has to be in one of those two. There is also a genuine 1 or 4 in one of these cells, causing an X-wing with 1 or 4 there. But I don't know that that quite falsifies the 4 here. Does it? It might do. I was trying to use this 7 as the only thing I've got kind of sticking east or west out of the central columns. I suppose I've got this north or south. Yes, that is useful a little bit, in that it says the 7 around this circle can't be a quibbler because that digit can't be a 7 by Sudoku. So the 7 around here is genuine. There is a 7 around those cells. And we know there's a genuine 7 around those and around those. Sheer weight of numbers makes me think that the 7 around here is a quibbler. That's not a conclusion, it's just a thought. Okay, we've kind of done this box. Oh, this digit is very limited actually now. It can't be 9 or 8 down here. It sees 5, 7, 1, 4 and a 6, 9 pair. So that digit is 2 or 3. There's a 3, 5, 6 virtual triple here. So 3 has to be in one of those two cells. I don't know how to use that. 7 by just boring Sudokus in one of those two. Oh, now, what I said here, this is about the only thing I've got to go on, I think. I said either that's a quibbler 3 or that's a quibbler 6. One of those is true. So one of these is a 3-6 pair. So either 6 there and 3 here, or 3 here and 6 there. So there is either a 6 here in yellow or a 3 here in red. The other one of 6, 3 is here. And that's going to leave a 5 in one of these two cells. I don't think this can ever be 3 and this can ever be 6. I think my brain was right about that. But I don't know. Now I'm, yeah, no, no, I'm not sure. Why couldn't that be the 6 and then this be a 3 and this be a 5? And then there doesn't have to be a 3-6 pair across here. Yeah, I think maybe my brain was wrong about this now. I'm finding it very hard to reach a conclusion on that. Here's another weird thought. There must be one digit that is not a quibbler in both of those 179 triples. No, does it not do anything if that's the case? If that digit was 7, this is a 7 because we've also got those 7s looking at it. If the genuine digit in both, if 7 was a genuine digit in both these cases, that's a 7. If 9's a genuine digit in both cases, that's a 9. What about if 1's a genuine digit in both cases? Then one of these two is a 1. And there's also this weird situation where if 7's a liar, a quibbler here, it goes there. If 9's a quibbler, it goes there. And in this one, if 7's a quibbler, it goes there. And if 9's a quibbler, it goes there. These are kind of in sharp contradistinction to each other. I don't know how to use that. I'm not really getting this. I certainly have not understood this puzzle to the full. I could mark that there's a 7 in one of those cells, I suppose. Okay, let's look at this a bit harder. 8 is not a quibbler. We've said that already. 8's in one of these cells. Either 3 or a 6 is a quibbler. The other digit from 3 or 6 does appear here. If it's a 6, that has to be in one of these cells by Sudoku. If it's and that would be an 8-6 pair then. And this would be 3. And that won't work. Oh yes, it will work. That would be 5-6. This would be 3. That would be 2. This would be 9. Is that of any significance? And it's a very weird thought that these 179s being identical in the same rows means either, well, 2 out of 3 of these things are true, that one of those is a 1, one of those is a 7, and one of those is a 9. 2 out of 3 being truths in that category is not as helpful as Meatloaf would think in 2 out of 3 ain't bad. It's quite unhelpful. Now, we also have identical circles here and here. And we know 7 is telling the truth up here. So the quibbler is either a 1 that goes there or a 4 that goes there. The quibbler here is 7. We know that. If 1 was the quibbler here, that would be a 1, and now 1 would have to be a truth teller here and go there. Maybe there's quite an interesting point. We know 1 is a truth here. If 1 was a truth up here, The one in this box would have to be in one of those 3 cells. I do want to say now that there's never any call for 1 to be in this cell. It can't be, because that's actually true from the get-go. And this is maybe an interesting point I haven't understood about these quadruple circles. If 1 is in either place, if 1 is either telling the truth here and in one of those cells it's not there, and if it's, oh no, 1 is definitely telling the truth, because position 1, oh, that's just an instance of this thing that I observed early on. 1 has to be in one of those cells, because it can't be the quibbler, because it would be telling the truth as a quibbler. The same's true up here. 1 must be telling the truth. It can't be the quibbler. Now we established that 7 is telling the truth up there. 9 is the quibbler and goes in this cell. That's been easy and available for some time. Now 9 around here must be telling the truth, because it can't go there as a quibbler. The same around here. In fact, for both of these circles now, 9 has to be telling the truth and has to be on the overlap between the 2 circles. Now we've also established 1's in one of those cells. I've apparently established 7's in one of those. Yes, that's true. So 9 is the quibbler here and goes in the corner. Now 9 can't be the quibbler here and must go around the cells, and that puts it in one of those 2 positions because of this, and that tells us about how to position 6 and 9 there. And now I don't have many 9's left to do. That's a 9. There's 1 in one of these cells. There's 1 in one of these 2 cells by Sudoku. And that means, oh no, we've got 1 there already. Okay, well, I have a few 9's left to do. Now the quibbler up here is either a 1 there or a 7 here. And the same is true for these. No, 9 is the quibbler here. 1 and 7 are both genuine. Bother. And the quibbler here is either, well, oh, 5 can't go there. 5 can't be the quibbler. So 5 is in one of those cells. 2 is the quibbler and goes here. This word quibbler is sounding very strange to my ears now, like quibble, quibble, wibble, wibble. Now 1 can't be the quibbler. That's not position 2, by the way. This is position 2. And what about this one? I still don't know whether 1 is the quibbler going there or 7 there. Whichever one it is, it's going to push a 1 or a 7 into column 2 up here, which is going to push a 7 or a 1 into column 3 here. Now, 4 we know is not the quibbler. This is either having a 3 or a 6. 3 or a 6, sorry, in position. Oh, goodness, I don't know. One of these is a 1 or a 7. If it's a 7, that digit becomes a 7. If it's a 1, if 7's a truth there, we get a 1 there and a 7 there. If 1 is a truth, there's a 1 here and a 7 here. I'm sure there are repetitive things that I could find if I could just work out what questions to ask. Why am I finding this so hard? Okay, how about some basic Sudoku? And we know there's a 3, 5, 6, 9 within this group of cells. So these are from 1, 2, 4, 8. That's 1, 3, or 4. This is totally uninteresting information. 4 is in one of these two. I've spent far too long on this 3, 4, 6 consideration. Let's think about, right, 5 can't be a quibbler around here because it would be there. So 5's in one of those cells. And that means there's a 5 somewhere up along the top here. 9 is not a quibbler either. 5 and 9 are the truth tellers. So 2 is the quibbler there. That's a 2. That's now a 3. That's not a 3. And now this digit is a 6. And this pair is a 3, 5 pair. And this pair is a 2, 8 pair. Yeah, that's right. Still, oh, 6, 3 can't be the quibbler here because it would have to go there and that would contradict this pair. So 6 is the quibbler. 3 goes around the circle. Now, that would have negated any 6s as quibblers in the bottom 3 rows, but they're not possible. Ah, yes. No. I was going to say 6 is not the quibbler here, but I don't know that. Position 6 is there. That was position 6. Having already tried to put one digit in the wrong position for its box, I'm a bit scared I might be doing that again, but anyway. Now, we know that 9 was the quibbler here. We still don't know here. We do now know that 3 is not the quibbler here because 3 can't go there. So one of these is a 3. 8 can't be the quibbler because it would be around the circle itself. So 4 is the quibbler and goes in here. Now that digit can't be 4, and I seem to have limited 4 to one place here. And then one of these 3 is a 4. It's quite hard to work this out. 3 and 8 around here. 1 and 7 around here. If I'm right about all my pencil marking, this digit is 2 or 6. And this one is 5 or 6. It can't be 1, 7, 4, 9, 3, or 8, or 2. It is 5 or 6. And that digit in row 3 must go in one of these 3 places, and that's probably not very informative. A 1 or a 7 is genuine here. Either 1 or 7 is genuine in one of these cells. And the other one is going to be a 1 or a 7 in position 1 or 7, forcing a 1 or a 7 into one of those cells and a 1 or a 7 into one of those cells. So there's a virtual pair between the 7 or 1 in one of those cells and the 7 or 1 in one of these two. Does that help? Not really. It doesn't really help. 8 has to be genuine around here because 8 is that position. So this is an X-wing on 8s. The 8s for rows 8 and 9 are being used up. 8 in row 7 has to be in one of these two cells. If it's there, 1 can't be a quibbler and must be in one of these two. If 8 is here, this digit is the genuine digit here and is 1 or 7. That's a really difficult thing. I can't pencil mark that in any way. It's two quite disparate cases that are begging to be resolved, but I don't know how to do it, and I can't pencil mark it either. Bother. Oh, the other digit that appears in one of these two cells apart from 7 is that one. So these are from 147. 5 must be in one of these cells. That was the easy lesson. I did not learn the easy way. Hmm. 1 and 7 are genuine here. 8 is genuine. And 2 can't be a quibbler. Ah, that's a big deduction. We can't put a 2 there because of both of these other blooming quibbler 2s looking at that cell. So 2 is genuine around here and must go in this cell. And now 4 is a quibbler and goes in its position 4. And that 2 sees this 8-2 pair. And that 8 sees this cell and puts 8 in position 8 here, but it's not a quibbler, it's a genuine digit. These are from 3, 5, 6, because that's all that's left. 2, 2, we get a 2 here by Sudoku, and then one of these is a 2, and the other one is a 1, according to my pencil marks, and I think that's right. This is a 3, 5 pair. This digit is 6, 8, or 9. How about that 1, 4, 2 pair? Is that doing anything else? Not obviously. 7 around here. 1 and 4 around here. Either 1 or 4 is correct around here, and the other one can't be a 4 quibbler going there because of these 4 quibblers. So the quibbler in the 147 up here is a 1, and 4 is genuine around here, which has to be in the corner. That places 7. That says this digit isn't a 7, and the 1 there says this digit is a 1 in box 1. 1, 2, 4, 3, 9. This digit seems to be a naked single 8 in that it sees everything else in its row and box. And these are part of a 5, 6, 7 triple in the top row here. That makes this digit, which I carefully candidate marked, into a 2. And this pair is a 3, 8 pair. Now that 2 mandates a 2 here, and we're left with a 1, 4 pair. 7, 1, 4, and it's 1, 2, 4, 7, 5, 9. This is 3, 6, or 8. I am getting worried that I'm going to overlook one cell from one of these clues somewhere that is going to be very helpful. Maybe I've done it already, maybe I'm still yet to do it. Right, the 1 or 7 from this clue is a quibbler. So either that's a 1 or that's a 7. If that's a 1, oh, that 2 is looking at this cell. So that's a 1, and this digit is not a 1. So the 7 is the quibbler, and 1 appears in one of these two. And that's an X-wing with 1 over this side. So that digit can't be 1, and this digit is, I think, no, I don't know. One of these two is 1. That's what I know. There was nearly, I mean, okay, let's just do ordinary stuff. That can't be a 7 because of this 7 that we got off the quibble. That's place 7 in box 1. Now that can't be 7, and this is 7. Then in this row, I've found 4 as well. There is just Sudoku to do. That is really the way to look at this. 4, 2, 7, 3, 5. 1's in one of those. 9 is now in one of those two. Eight is in one of those. I have marked it as such. It's in one of these. 1 and 7 are around this. Okay, what about this one? 4 is around it, and either 3 or 6. Right, 3 can't be a quibbler because that can't be 3. So 6 is the quibbler and goes there. So 3 is genuinely around that 3, 4, 6 circle. 3 is now looking at red, which is 5. Ooh. That's a 3. They don't need any color. Right. 3, 5 is a pair there, so 5 is one of these cells. What about 8 in this box? Do we know anything about it? No, not a thing. One of these two is 6. One of these two is 9. 8, though, could go in, well, not that cell, which is 1 or 9. It's not 1, though, because 1 is there. So 1 is in one of these two, which are now in fact a 1-7 pair. And this digit is 9, and that digit is 1. And these two are now a 6-8 pair in the box. That's a 9-5 pair. We know the order. This is a 3-8 pair. I don't know the order, but I do see a 3-8 pair there. That gives me a 6 at the bottom. That places 5. That says this isn't a 5. 2, 9, 6, 5, 7. Whatever that digit is must go here and is 3 or 8. And that forms a pair with that and makes this corner a 6, which makes this cell a 5. I eliminated some corner mark from here. I hope that wasn't a problem because I don't remember what it was. Okay, by Sudoku, this is a 1 or a 3. And so is this. So this is the 7 in the row. That's a 1. Now that's, oh no, we've had 1 up here, thank goodness, because it looked like it was all broken. 1, 7, 8, 9, 4, 2. That's not 9. This is 3. It's a naked 3. It sees 5 and 6 in the row. That gives us 5 in column 8 there, 6 there. That's a 5. That's an 8. That sorts out 6 and 8. Now we get 5 here. Now I've got a 3-6 pair. They are resolved by a 6 over this side. 6, 1, 5, 9, 2. This can't be 7 or 8. It is 3 or 4. This needed a 3 around it, though, which was genuine because the 6 is the quibbler. So that's 3, that's 4, that's 7. This is 1, that's 5, this is 4, that's 1. And I'm left with a 3-8 pair that are resolved. That resolves the other 3-8 pair. There's a 1-4 pair, and we are complete. We have established all our truths and quibblers, and there we go. And quite a few people have done that puzzle. Excellent stuff from Zombie Hunter. And well done on your commercial pilot's license. Clever, clever stuff all through. And thank you guys for watching. Do subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.